Good evening, and welcome to Baldacci on Business. I'm Bob Baldacci, and I welcome you to our inaugural show. I first want to thank Community Television Network for their support and sponsorship of this program. I'd also like to acknowledge the help and support that I've had from my wife, Elizabeth. If it wasn't for her help in organizing this show from behind the scenes, we wouldn't be here tonight. This is the first of what will be 9 shows during the course of the year that will focus on business. Our goal is to help those who are interested in getting into business for the first time, as well as those who are in business but want to take their company to the next level. Basically, what we want to do is try to instill a sense of confidence and entrepreneurship among those of you who want to get into business, and help those who are in business to succeed and sustain their company for the long term. Maine is a very small business state. We have over 140,000 small businesses in this state, 100,000 of which there are no employees. They're typically self-employed, 1 or 2 family members running the company. In addition to that, Maine has 94,000 self-employed Schedule C companies. So in essence, we do have a lot of small businesses in this state, and there is a very high percentage of those small businesses are located here in Portland, Maine. With that, as of July of this year, our unemployment rate in this state is hovering around 7.7%. It's below the national average, but still high, with over 54,000 people looking for work. And our hope is to instill a sense of confidence and a can-do attitude among those of you who are listening and watching tonight, that instead of looking at the classifieds every day in the newspaper, looking for jobs, looking for employment, that you can look yourself in the mirror some morning and say, you know, I can do this. I can open up my own business. That's what we hope to generate with this program, giving you the tools and techniques to succeed in business. So tonight, we have, I'm very, very pleased to bring to the table Mike Tolley, who is living in Falmouth, Maine. Mike is a very successful business person. And off to my left is Dirk Strong Van Curan, who is a consultant business person who works with a lot of startup companies. And our focus for the show tonight is, so you want to go into business. And we're going to really start with the basics. But following this program, each month we will bring together experts, such as what we have tonight, to talk about such things as forming your own company. Should you form an LLC or a sub-S corporation? What are the tax implications for that? How to build and sustain a market identity, a brand for your company? How to obtain financing? How to raise equity, if that's a concern? Public and private resources that this state has available, we think are very important and can be very, very helpful to you as an emerging business person. And we'll also bring people to the table who have succeeded as well as failed in business to learn from their successes and mistakes. And we think that that's going to be very important. Because in business, it's okay to fail. The important thing is that you pick yourself up, look yourself in the mirror, and go forward to try to make a success of your business. So Dirk, I'm going to start with you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a consultant, and you've worked with a lot of businesses, but tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, thank you, Robert. And I guess what you just described is what a small business person is. They are all of that, you know, coach and wear many hats.
That's right.
Myself, I've been in a lot of different businesses, from working with Lehman Brothers for 14 years in client executive services. So I got a chance to be around a lot of very successful business leaders from all over the nation. But probably a lot of my successes were around the small business levels, from running ski shops to managing a catering business and owning a catering business out in Colorado. But currently, I think my current role is I'm at the MSAD 51, which is Cumberland and North Yarmouth, and helping them bring business type strategies and tools to help them operate better as an organization. So using more of those tools like Google Apps for education, which are the same thing as Google Apps for business. So, but
that's great. That's great. And Mike is a resident of Falmouth, Maine, and is a businessman and entrepreneur. Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started tonight.
Well, I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. It's kind of been my whole life, so that's where I get the drive to do my own businesses. I started in my 20s at a motel over here in Westbrook, and you know, I basically moved in, lost my life for about 5 or 10 years, and ran the business from the ground up, and built the business up to the point where I could expand over in the North Conway area, Jackson, the Mount Washington Valley. And I've got several hotel properties and restaurant properties as well.
So clearly we've got two gentlemen here at the table who can hopefully provide a few insights for the viewers out there tonight. Those of you who are thinking about getting into business, I think we'll hopefully learn a lot tonight. So again, thank you both for being here tonight. Okay, let's get this started. From your perspectives, what do you think is the most important first step in starting a business? Now remember, we've got a lot of people out there who are thinking about starting a business, have an idea, maybe it's a gadget, or they want to buy an existing business. What advice would you give them as a first step? And Dirk, why don't we start with you?
Well, the first step is you have to know your vision. What is the gadget or the dream that you have? Do you see it beyond just what that is? Where are the steps along the way? And do you have passion to take it to the full race? If it's a horse race, it's you know, you can't give up short, and stay with your passion. And where does it start? I've seen a lot of conversations just like this table where great ideas start with conversations and it ends up on a cocktail napkin. And then it's like, okay, where do I take it from there? And I really help a lot of people find out what they're really good at. So that's the part of the business that they're going to be the best at. And what are all the other things that they need to think about on a business plan that they need to get all the answers down when they start putting on all the hats as a business owner. Mm-hmm. So ultimately what you want to do is start shedding those hats. And is that marketing, the sales? Are you the widget maker, or are you going to be the sales guy and get somebody else eventually to be the actual gadget maker? So, but the passion, the vision would be, I'd say, that has to be there, the burning desire.
Mike, would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. The commitment. If you are going to choose to go into a small business or any size business, you have to be committed to it, fully and wholly.
I think that's the key word, and there's a report that was done on entrepreneurship that I think would be an appropriate time to bring this to the table, and the word commitment was used. What is the key factor? What is the key factor that separates those who want to be successful in business from those who think about it but nothing happens? And the word is commitment. Mm. It's the passion, it's the drive, it's the commitment to make this thing a success. No matter who tells them that it's not going to work, no matter how many obstacles they face, it's the commitment to get it done. And the self-motivation is what distinguishes successful entrepreneurs.
And a long-term goal as well.
Exactly.
So you create a plan and you execute it to reach a long-term goal. Short-term along the way, but...
And that's right. And I think that's a great segue into the importance of a business plan. And that's really where we want to start tonight. But before you get to the stage of sitting down and putting a business plan together, as you say, Dirk, you got to have the passion, and Mike, you got to have the commitment. So
Yeah.
assuming that you all have that, Dirk?
And you said about the conversations, families have a tendency to be your biggest naysayers, saying, you know, oh, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
If you look into their past, maybe they weren't in a family like you, Mike, where they
Right.
were an entrepreneurial family. It's like, no, Dad, he did the 9 to 5, and that's what you should do. If you've got it in your heart, you really should keep going after that, because great things can happen. Business plan, and I think the internet is a fabulous resource for people to do the research about what is the right style, because a lot of times, Robert, you and I have talked about, you've got a great idea, you need more capital, and they come looking for money, but they don't have a business plan. They don't have it clearly mapped out to be able to communicate it onto the person that might be investing in them. And it's really those tools. So I brought a couple examples tonight that's really A to Z. I've got the one-page business plan that says, just give me the bullets, but it gives you all the headings you need, to an actual program that you can get online, cloud-based internet program that will ask every single question right down to the finest detail and create the plan for you. Then you can take this, and this is your kind of your template.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your passion and how you communicate to those people.
And we're going to try, we will make available some of those resources and links online on Baldacci on Business Facebook page. So I would encourage you in the audience tonight, the viewer audience, to check us out on Facebook. There will be direct links to the show and also to resources that we talk about. So with respect to the plan, Mike, you mentioned the importance of having that vision. Can you elaborate from your experience with looking at some of the acquisitions that you've made and the developments you've done, how that comes into play?
Well, I think that first of all, you obviously need to have the idea, the passion, and the business plan. And in the business plan, you have to have all of your research. I mean, mind-numbing research. You have to go through it and find out what the market is like, what the demographics are. And in my case, we're talking about hotels and restaurants and such. So once you get all of the research and you feel comfortable with your plan and you've raised your capital and whatnot, and you're getting ready to execute, then you need to make sure that you have the right people on board. Mm-hmm. And with my teams, I like to use a metaphor of being in a rowboat. So my business, or even in life it works. So you're in a rowboat, you're going upstream. You want your team to come in, but they've got to bring some oars. And they've got to be your bookkeeper, who you trust implicitly, your attorney, your accountant, and your business advisors, close people that you look up to, that you respect, you emulate, and you create that team of people around you who are going to support you rather than be the naysayers and whatnot.
That's great. That's excellent advice. Dirk, from your perspective, going through the elements of a business plan, clearly there are links online that people can access. What do you think would be the logical elements from your perspective that are absolutely critical to a plan?
Well, the first question I always ask is, what's your exit strategy?
Okay.
And a lot of people going into it is like, what do you mean? I don't ever plan to leave. Well, you don't want to become trapped in your own business. If I will quote Michael Gerber, who wrote The E-Myth, he basically says, if you don't find time to work on your business, you're just another employee in your business, and you don't ever get further ahead because you're not taking a step outside and looking in on what needs to be the elements. And if you clearly map this out in your business plan, you know all those elements of what you need to focus on. Mm-hmm. So basically, use the vision and the end goal. What's the long-term vision? So you have goals. You have your short-term, medium, long-term goals for your plan. Be it whatever, if it's in the hospitality industry, if it's a gadget, is it creating the next Google? I kid my kids at school, it's like, you guys all have the potential to be the next Google. It's only 12 years old, and I'm talking to kids that basically are as old as Google.
Right. You bring up a great point, and that is that And I've seen it in work that I've done in Ireland and Northern Ireland when I was doing work with the University of Maine. They make a conscious effort of encouraging kids to think about starting their own business. Yeah. And they really apply resources at a very, very young age. It would be an initiative that I think would be terrific for this state to undertake, not to mention the country. But I would encourage you to continue to do that to the extent you can, certainly in the Cumberland School District.
And there's a great, their first year was last year. I don't know if you saw it, but Lemonade Day.
Yep.
Lemonade Day was started, and it is about selling lemonade. And they will give you the packets. It came out through, I think you could get all the packets at the library, and some went to the schools. But on June 5th, all the kids sold lemonade, and they talked about what are the costs, what are your market strategy, what is who you're going to sell to, how are you going to price it. So all the little pieces that go into even big businesses are great ideas. This was right down to the kid level at the lemonade stand. And I hope the best of luck, but you can Google, it's a national company. So Lemonade Day for next year, so get more kids involved in that.
And you mentioned to me earlier before the show the interest that your daughter has. And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
My daughter loves making little duct tape creations. She's got I won't pull it out now, but the father ducky.
Pull it out.
The father ducky. This is all duct tape, and it's only big enough to hold cash. So I don't carry credit cards because I was a financial advisor, and that's partly why we're in the.
Can we check it out?
So.
Yeah, you do have some cash.
There is a little bit of cash in there. It's waterproof, and so. But
I like it.
She today tried to figure out how to get a business license. She's also created all her strategies of how she wants to put it online, and also have an order form. But it's just working with kids to get them to say, it's okay to try and try and try and do these things. And I don't know how many other ideas she's had and failed. No, lost interest. But I mean, in our world, it was a failure.
Right.
Okay, in a kid's world, it's like, no, I'm going to the next thing.
Sure.
Right.
And you look at a lot of people out there. They've done a lot of different things. They've had failures and they've had successes, but they're really having fun.
Right.
I think that's part of what you get in it, to have fun.
And that's a great point. Mike, go ahead,
if
please.
I may speak to the failure and success a little bit. You know, whether you have a 9-to-5 job or you're starting your own business, there's no guarantee in any of it.
That's right.
So if you are looking for the safety of 9 to 5, it may be an illusion anyway. Look at the unemployment rate. So if you do have the gumption to take an entrepreneurial leap, you're taking a risk for yourself and your family, and if you have the passion and the plan and the people behind you, then yeah.
It is scary. It is scary, but it's also rewarding.
Right.
And you don't have to give up the 9 to 5 initially, especially, as you said, a lot of people are just independents or husband and wife, and it might be just one of the partners starting the business, and eventually the other person comes out, because you have to think about a lot of things.
Well, your daughter's in school while she's
right. Her job is to go to school. I keep telling you. But because you do need to have some of those things to help. Income is, the best asset. So.
No, that's great. And then I applaud the efforts to try to get kids thinking about businesses. And one of the ideas that we had when we were trying to put this show together was thinking about trying to engage high schools within the region, within the viewer audience of this program, to encourage kids to think about business ideas and begin to put together business plans that they might be able to present on air
that would be
on
fabulous.
our show. So that's something that, if you're interested, I'd like to explore further. I really would. To begin to engage some of the schools in the area. Maybe we take a test case and do it in Falmouth or Cumberland, where you're already working as an opportunity. But just to kind of give kids the tools, the understanding of business, and Because go
They
ahead.
do it at the college level. Don Gooding and his whole
Yes.
thing, the business plan competition is fabulous. And I think he's rolled it out to quite a few schools now,
Right.
Statewide. I mean, let's push that down into the secondary and down into even the elementary level. Kids have fabulous ideas.
Yeah.
And it would be fun to see what type of things come out of that.
So that's something we hope to explore as we go through the course of this programming, and I'm really excited to be involved and be hosting this effort, because I have worked with businesses from one end of the state to the other. I served as chairman of the First Finance Authority of Maine. I've worked with the Maine Guarantee Authority. I've been involved in economic development all my life at public and private sectors. And there's nothing that's more important to me than trying to see the state move forward to create a real sense of entrepreneurship. We have the tools in the state. We have a great university. We have a phenomenal set of incentives that are available for businesses and people who want to get into business. And I just think it's a great place to be in business, contrary to some of the political winds blowing one way or the other. We're here because we love the state. You came to the state. Why did you decide to move to Maine?
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's quality of life. It's that balance between schools, lifestyle, it's a healthy community, and great opportunities. I mean, there's something, as in Manhattan, in going to, I haven't been back to Manhattan since 9/11, but yeah, I was there, and a lot of thoughts around that coming right
That's
up
correct.
here,
Sure.
and my heart goes out to people I know very much close to that. But it was taking a look at what's important to you, and it is that full package. And they say that right there on the sign, the way life should be, and it is having that drive and making all those pieces work.
Yeah.
So it's balance.
Mike is
That was the
You're
word
from
that
New
was
York
coming out of my
originally?
mouth. Balance. It's really the only place in New England where you can have that balance of family and work, because work takes up a lot of time, and you want to be able to quickly get home to the kids after school and have dinner and whatnot. So.
Well, we've got a lot of issues to discuss as we go forward with this program. What do you feel, just in sort of recapping everything, we talk about passion, we talk about commitment, we talk about some of the basics that you need to think about when you want to get into business. What is the one thing that you would like to leave people with tonight, Dirk, and you, Mike? And it's okay if we kind of repeat a little bit of what we've been through, because I think it's important. We're not going to go through the elements of a business plan tonight. I mean, that's stuff you could get on the internet. We want to stress the fact that it's important. You need to really write out what your vision is, what your plans are.
Dump it all out on paper. Yeah.
Exactly. But go ahead.
But you said this would be fun. This has been a blast, and I think that's the biggest thing about going into business for yourself. It's challenging every day. You have fun. It's your dream and your passion there, and you're relating it out to everybody every moment. You're your own, marketer, and if you're having fun doing what you do, it's contagious.
Yeah.
And when you said this would be fun, you were absolutely right. And doing your businesses are fun.
I told you it would be fun.
Yeah. So get out there and don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And go for it.
I think that's a great message. Mike, is there anything that you would like to?
Well, if there one word would be difficult to come up with. I mean, it's obviously location, but
That's a real estate.
Well, if you
But it's
want
true.
business
Absolutely.
That's
it's
true.
real estate. I would say that at the end of the day, no matter what business you get into, you're dealing with customers, and you're dealing with clients, and you're dealing with people. So you have to make sure that you take care of your customers. You have to make sure you take care of your clients, and put their needs first, and be real about it, be sincere about it, because if you put their needs first and they feel that, they'll come back to you, and that's the only way to succeed in business.
Gentlemen,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. That was
Thank you
that
very
was
much.
great.
Thank you.
That was great. And Michael, going forward to our viewers out there, thank you for watching the show tonight. Next month, as I said earlier, we will talk about legal issues of forming your company and tax issues that relate to that. So we're going to bring on a very well-respected corporate attorney as well as a tax accountant to talk about those issues. So if you've got any questions as a result of the show tonight, please go to our Facebook page at this point in time, Baldacci on Business, and post any questions that you have. If you'd like to follow up with Dirk or you'd like to follow up with Mike, we will make available their emails and their contact information. If you have any questions in anticipation of our show next month, which is legal and tax, please post those questions online, and we'll make sure that our guests will answer those. So again, we appreciate your attention tonight and your consideration for tuning in, and we look forward to a very successful programming as we go forward. I'm told that we have a little bit more time to wrap up. We have less than a minute, so this is our first show, and it's been exciting, and again, I want to thank Community Television Network for their support and their involvement in making this a reality. We're going to be bringing on some terrific people as we go forward. I would like to explore the opportunity, Dirk, to try to get the kids involved somehow, some way, and again,
We'll get them to ask some questions.
Sure.
and to get them asked to ask some questions.
have
That's
them build
correct.
some things.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. So again, thank you, gentlemen,
Thank you.
and thank you very much. So, any good?
Hey,
That
no,
was good.